Hello, this is your professor, Dr. Clark-Ibáñez, and I'll take these glasses off for just a second. I wanted to create a film for you that would introduce you to the activities and things for week one. And this is an experiment, so it may not work for you, may not work for me, but I've never done this. I'm working on finalizing all of our material for tomorrow, which is our start date. Wednesday is when our class goes live, as you've been hearing from my emails. And I thought it would be good for you to get an audio and a visual on the class, because I can send out as many emails as I have, and you still might be confused or have questions, and you still may have questions and be confused, but that's fine. This film at least will allow you to get another dimension on our class, and in particular on our first week. So it may be a little bit long because I'm also going to go over the first paper that you have. So go ahead and stop, rewind, pause, come back to it, whatever you need, okay? So, and also if this is just not helpful for you, everything I'm going to tell you, you already know. It's written somewhere, but I'm going to try to summarize it for you in this little iMovie. I'm in my home office. You can see there's nothing on the wall yet because we've just moved in a few months ago. But I do most of my work here, especially during the day when my kids are in daycare. So, as you might know, some of you have taken me before. I'm a tenured regular faculty for our department in sociology and criminal and justice studies. I'm also the coordinator for ethnic studies. Let's go ahead and get into the week one though, okay? So I don't want to waste too much time on personal introductions because you'll get to know me as the class goes on for sure. Okay, so the first thing is, the first thing you should always do each week, each Wednesday, is check out the forum for each week and read the lecture. Try to do that as your Wednesday activity, okay? Because this is going to set the tone for what you're going to do and how you're going to do in the class. So lecture one will give you the big overview of the topic for that week. It'll also have specific prompts and reflections. You always have the opportunity to do an optional reflection forum, and the reflection forum sits in the top of our homepage on Cougar Courses. And that's just for you to, as if when you're sitting in class and you say, hey, this reminds me of, or whatever. It doesn't have to be always so academic, but use the reflection forum throughout the semester. I may end up using them as extra credit. I may not. We'll see how people use it. But regardless, it's definitely part of participation. Okay, so check out Forum 1, check out Lecture 1. Forum 1 for this week is an easy posting, and you need to have more work for your replies. Okay, so Forum 1, you're going to post something just of your personal thoughts. But then remember, do all the coursework, all the stuff for forum for the week one. So then by Sunday, midnight or earlier, do your 3 replies. Your forum replies need to use coursework. It's not about your personal opinion. I mean, you can add it, that's fine, but the point is, how are you engaging in people's postings by using sociology or whatever I'm presenting, sociology. This is a kind of an interdisciplinary class. Okay, the other thing that's going on in week one is the film Babies. If you haven't already seen it, it's a wonderful film. What's interesting is that there's no narration. It's a comparison of babies, I think, in 4 different nations. Of course, I've seen this film before, but I will be watching it again for our class with fresh eyes, which is what you should do as well. If you've already seen this film, watch it again for our class, because I want you to be able to use the material that you learned from Babies, the movie, in your forum replies where relevant, okay? We have a reading called Child, and the reason it has such an odd title is because there's a thing called the International Encyclopedia of Childhood, and I thought it would be pretty interesting as an optional thing. I think many of you, it's pretty short, so I really recommend you read it. Child is just an excerpt. Someone wrote their entry on what is childhood. So it might have some psychology in it. It might have not pure sociology, but I still thought it would be interesting for us. The other thing that's going on for week 1 are our web resources. Now, I should ask, if you by chance come across any web resources of your own as you come through the class, please let me know, because I'd love to add them for this semester or for next semester. But for now, there's 2 items. One is a short essay called Different Cultures, Different Childhoods, and it's from the Open University out of England, I'm pretty sure. It's a small, short essay that's going to encompass some of the things that I'll talk about in lecture, that I'll write about in lecture. But it's sort of nice to get that perspective. Do read it, because this short essay could be something interesting that you could use in your forum replies. Okay. The second item is a download. It's a PDF. So it's a website, but it'll automatically be downloaded as a PDF, and it's called Child Trends, and it's called Disparities from the First Years of Life. And I thought this report would be so interesting in terms of what we see in the film Babies. So if you see any connections, this is a great thing for you to write in the reflection forum. It's just something to put out there. Hopefully people reply. I certainly will read all of them. I'll be excited to hear what you have to say. And again, the reflection forum is not necessarily for any kind of credit, but it's a form of participation, which is, it's sort of hard to do on an online class. And I have in the past sometimes used it as extra credit. Depends. Okay. So no promises, but a little bit of a motivation for you. All right. So we went over lecture 1. It will be up there by tomorrow. I'm working on it right now. Making this movie is a little break for me. Form 1. You can do your posting 2 minutes, 5 minutes max, your first posting. Your 3 replies for Form 1 take more time, and you need to go through the course material, lectures, films, internet resources, and optional readings. The film, watch the film, and go to our web resources. Read it, scroll through it, skim it, look for what's interesting for you. Okay. Finally, this is at 8 minutes, this film, so it's getting kind of long. I should have had some water with me. Paper A. Paper A is due in a couple weeks, but I wanted to give it to you now. Here it is. Where did I put it? Let's see. There it is. Okay. I really recommend you print out lectures, the syllabus, and the assignments. I think the rest of the things you don't need to print out that much. Okay. So in order for me to read this carefully, whoa, okay, I want to go ahead and use my glasses. Okay. So, paper A. You could have taken a break. That's fine. And come back to paper A. All right. So, the idea behind, I won't go through every detail, but the idea behind this paper is for you to compare your childhood with someone else of a different childhood in terms of age, maybe nationality, maybe they grew up in a different country. Again, this is tied to our film Babies. Sorry, there's a hair sticking out here. This is a very homemade film, as you can tell. Okay. You're going to compare your childhood to someone of a different childhood, either different era, meaning they're a different age than you are, younger, older, or different country, nationality, that they had their major upbringing in a different country. Okay. If you have exceptions, if you feel like, oh, I have this perfect person I want to do my paper in, but it doesn't really fit what you're talking about, okay, email me and I'll let you know. All right. I want you to interview them sort of informally, but do take notes on what they're saying. You can also do this on the phone with your person. You want to make sure that you don't talk too much and then you ask lots of questions. Okay, but also remind your person that they don't have to answer anything that you're asking. They're uncomfortable or don't know or whatever. Don't pressure anyone. And more of these details are here in the what's it called? In the assignment. Okay, so do your interview first. Okay, then I want you to reflect on your own childhood and start thinking about where things were similar and different in terms of the person you interviewed. Okay, the third step to this project is to reflect back on what you've learned in class. Today, or this week, week 1, you're going over just in general, what do we mean by childhood, especially from a sociological perspective. But you're going to get some information about the history of childhood, cross-cultural examples. That's in week 2. In week 3, we're going over theories of childhood. Okay. Now, week 4, I have allowed time for you to work on your paper and to kind of get what you need, get feedback. I'll have a forum or some kind of discussion so you can maybe submit paragraphs or like, God, is this what you mean? Etc. Okay, so, okay, you are then to compare and contrast your childhood and the person you interviewed. It's only about a 3-page paper. Okay, I give you on page 2, okay, a structure of your paper. How might you structure it? Okay, you have introduction, you have the body of your paper, and you have some conclusions. All right. Using examples will be so important. Using examples from your life, from the person you interview's life. For example, if you say, wow, the person, well, don't write wow, but okay, one of your paragraphs starts off, one of the most interesting differences was the fact that the person I interviewed, my grandmother, worked in the fields, worked in her father's shop, worked wherever, at the age of 5 or 6. In comparison, I sort of worked, but I sort of worked as in I had chores and allowances to clean up my room, whatever. Okay, so that's your topic sentence. Now, give us the examples. What do you mean by work? Your grandma worked. What do you mean by what you worked? Okay, and then tie it all together. All right, use course material. I can't stress that enough. Am I getting close to you? Okay. Course material, reading, film, internet. Sorry, I can't tell where this film is going. Okay. Page 3 of your assignment. I have potential interview questions that you could use, but please feel free to use whatever you like, as long as it gets at some interesting information, and make sure it seems more like a conversation, not an interrogation. Okay. You have a rubric. How will I grade you? Let me count the ways. Here it is. Okay, be sure to read that, learn it, memorize it. Okay, I found in my files a little memo. This is tips for paper A. Okay, I found a memo that I wrote to my students the last time I taught this class, a few semesters ago. And I think it has very valuable things, so I wanted to give you that memo. Okay, this is not about your paper right now, but this is what I told my former students, what went wrong, what went right in their paper. So read that, please. Okay, so that's paper A. You're going to have several weeks to do it. In fact, week 4, you'll have a week devoted to working on it. All right, but I wanted you to have it now and download it now. Okay, so I think that's about it. We're almost at 15 minutes. I would love to know if this video was helpful to you. If it was, I will make more. I can make them each week. It's sort of fun for me to do it, although it's just me. I'd love to know who you are and things like that. But anyway, this is a start. So let me know if this is useful. Email me with other questions that you have. Use the help forum for your questions. This is the best way for me to know your questions and the best way for everyone to benefit from you taking the time and being brave to post a question. Okay, so I think that's it. Great to start out the semester with you. This is definitely my area and my passion of research, one of the top ones anyway. And as you'll see through the class, you'll just know more about my research in this area. Okay, so good luck, and email me and use the help forum, and we'll see you online. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.